Your press agent, Helen Taylor, got in touch and said that there's a guy, he's 16, and he's representing Ireland in ice hockey.
Yeah.
You're going over to Kalamazoo. I wasn't sure if this was real. For you, 2.5 years ago when you fell in love with it, what was it about it that clicked?
It's a hard question to answer because it's not something I knew here. I found it through video games, I'll be honest, seeing stuff online. And I'd never been into sports before that. So when I saw something like this, it all looked so cool. The atmosphere, the players, it worked. The violence, yeah. So it all clicked to me, and I went to her saying, this is something I'd like to try. She wasn't really up for it. She said, you find the stuff and come back to me, and I came back to her within the day.
Right.
And joined my first club.
Lucky you weren't playing Grand Theft Auto. That might have been a different life.
No.
So when it came to the practical side of it, how long did that take? Because you said yourself, from Cork to Belfast, there's people involved. The only kind of real ice rink is up in Belfast, the Dundonald International Bowl, Ice Bowl. I don't know whether it took like months to figure out how you were going to actually get involved, or.
I started off just with the Dublin Flying Ducks. They were my first team. They're an inline hockey team, not an ice hockey team.
So that's roller skates instead of
that's
yes.
roller skates instead of ice. It's all we have in the south.
Yes.
And I was just going to weekly trainings with them, trying to get used to playing the sport. Because when I started, I couldn't skate. I didn't know what I was doing. So I started with them, and I trained for a while. Eventually, I was brought to matches in Portadown, Bangor, and Cork, and it's just, by that stage I had to commit, and this is my sport, so my time goes to this, and
had you kind of genuinely kind of fall in love with it? Because it's one thing to have this sort of, we'll say, a dream really, and then to get into the nitty gritty and have to train and have to figure it out. I mean, was that something that instantly kind of worked for you, or was it a lot of effort to get to that point where you thought, okay, I actually can do this?
In the beginning I was doubtful, I'll be honest. Like, getting in somewhere where other people know what they're doing, especially with a sport where you can't just decide that you want to be good at it. You have to know how to skate, you have to build it up. It took a while to kind of get used to that stage, but it's slow in the beginning, and the second I kind of gained my confidence, it all clicked and it just went uphill from there. And I really decided to kind of dedicate myself to it.
Well, it is obviously a big labour of love, because of the fact that there's such restriction on actually getting to play the game and be involved. So something like this, going to Kalamazoo, which is a real place, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Right, Michigan?
Michigan, yes.
There you go. Is this the first time you've travelled that far into that sort of role, that you're going to represent Ireland?
This is my first time playing outside the country.
Right.
Until then, I've only played in Belfast. I played a couple ice matches with the Dublin Buccaneers. I don't have my Team Ireland jersey yet.
Right.
But yeah, this will be my first time traveling outside the country. We're playing a bunch of high-level club teams, and we're in a pretty big stadium. I'll be honest. So
nice.
it's all a great experience that I'm so grateful to have. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to it.
So would there be a goal, like you would think, 5 years or whatever, that you'd be at a point where this would be, your life? You'll be traveling quite a bit with the team, and there would be basically a career there.
Yeah, it's hard to do here. It is. My initial thought was that I'd go and join the junior Belfast Giants. They're the pro team in Belfast. They play in the UK League. But it's high level stuff to get in there, and yeah, I'd say my goal in the future, preferably somewhere like the Dell League in Germany, nice. Or even the UK League, any of them. We don't have many players here who go pro.
Right. Just to give you a little bit of inspiration, 1992 there was a Greystones guy, Cormac Smith, who ended up on the Irish bobsleigh Olympics. Like, he represented Ireland in bobsleigh, which again isn't something that we do very often over here. So there's definitely always that potential. Yeah. That idea too, that you're only 16. I don't know if there's a sort of age that generally hits, is it your 20s, that's really the prime time that you could, be in this sport?
I'd say so, yeah. Around 20-25 is generally, I think, most people's prime. I've started late, I'll be honest. Most of the people I play with in here they come from, you know, Slovakia, Russia, some places like that. They've been playing their whole lives, or their parents played. So there's a few like me who have started purely off of nothing. So I'm starting on a back foot, but
that's got to be like the underdog in sport is always like a kind of an advantage in a way, because your determination is much greater than somebody who just grew up with it and accepts it as sort of background of their life. But for you, it's obviously very, very kind of deep that you really want to be successful at this.
I gave up a lot of things. I used to do motor racing with my dad. That was always his thing when I was younger.
Right.
And just when the time came for me to kind of commit to a sport and realize what I wanted to do, because I was never sporty when I was younger.
Right.
I gave up the racing and I dedicated to this. So that's kind of where majority of my time goes.
Given that it's like a 6-hour round trip for people who want to go up and train in Belfast, and the fact that you know, there are players but they're spread all over the country, would you see hopefully that ice hockey will grow in this country, that there might be a chance that it get a better profile and maybe even, God forbid, some funding? Yeah,
that's our goal. We have, from what I understand, because I'm not part of it, but from what I've been told, we have the funding to build a rink somewhere in the south, hopefully somewhere near Dublin, but we can't get the planning permission. We can't get insurance.
Right.
It won't be insured.
Is that likely to change, or is that something that
we're pushing towards it, and I'm hoping it will. You see, they have rinks in the north, they have rinks in the UK, and people are going to them year round, and insurance has never been an issue for them. Right. But
and hurling, hurling's a blood sport, and that gets insured.
Yeah, people, you think if it was available here, if we had the facilities, you think people would be into it with sports like rugby or hurling or field hockey, which we have the pitch up there.
Yeah, I would think it would be, and I think people do like something that's slightly off menu, that it would be different, that it's not just your average game that they see a million times.
Everyone I speak to, everyone who knows me, just there a couple of minutes ago, I had this in school because for rehearsals, and he's saying he wants to join. So just me having my stuff with me is advertisement enough to get people interested. So if we had the facilities here where people didn't have to commit in order to join, I think we'd have way more players.
And I'll put links in like an email and all that for people to get in touch with you know, whatever it might be, the league here in Ireland, or you know, just to be able to maybe even help. I don't know if you need sponsorship or whether you're kind of.
We're looking for sponsorship. We're looking for funding. I believe. I don't know the link. There should be a GoFundMe somewhere.
Well, I know your press agent Helen will be able to source it all. But yeah, I'll get all that above the video here, so people who might have an interest or in any way can kind of get involved, they can just like click to it straight away. Yeah. So when are you off to Kalamazoo? Is it April? Did you say?
We go 11th of March to
11th of March.
The 17th of March, I believe.
Magic.
We should be coming back St. Patrick's Day around then.
And are you sure you're going to come back? Because it sounds like that could be your ideal place.
Fingers crossed. Well, actually no, I'd like to stay, but fingers crossed I make it back.
Right, okay.
if we got to stay longer, I'd love it.
Right.
We have a team going to Kalamazoo, and I think we have one more team going to, I forgot the name. We have the under-19s are going to Boston.
Right. And you're in the under-16s development squad,
I'm under-16s. Next year I'll be under-19s because this is my last possible year with the U16s.
Right.
I'm glad to get the extra year.
Yes.
But yeah, this will be my first time traveling, and hopefully I can make an impact.
We'll check back in and see how you do and all that. But hopefully it'll be, I'm guessing, quite an experience, quite a kind of a kick.
Well, once in a lifetime type thing.
Boom.
For me especially. Well, hopefully I get to do more. But
yes, lovely chubbly.